Hello, and welcome to today's book chat. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the novel Liberty Street by author Heather Marshall. Um, so this novel was just absolutely captivating. It was one of those books where I found myself sneaking in extra pages whenever I could. Like I'd take it with me to the breakfast table, and if my kids were engaged with each other, I'd read a few pages. I'd go to bed early to get more pages in. Yeah, it was so captivating. So I won't tell you too much about it. It's a dual timeline novel set in 1961 in Toronto and then 1996 in rural Ontario. And so I'll focus on the 60s timeline. We have a young would be journalist named Emily Radcliffe who goes undercover at a women's prison to expose the abuses going on there. And so the really interesting thing about this as well is that it's based on an actual prison. I think it was the Andrew Mercer Reformatory, um, where women, I think from ages around 15 to 35, were sent, and some were sent because they committed crimes, but a lot of them were sent for other reasons. And there was this law called the incorrigible law, which is talked about in the book. And any kind of misbehavior could send the women there. So if their parents were upset with them because they had too much attitude or weren't respecting the household rules, breaking curfew, disrespectful behavior, or if they were in an interracial relationship and the parents didn't like that, promiscuity, these women would be sent for 2 years to the prison. So that's based on fact. And this novel had a lot of research, very clearly went into it. Um, and so you can imagine the kind of atrocities that might happen in a place like that. And both in the novel and in real life, that's what happens. So I won't go into the present day timeline because although it was great and brought so much more to the story, I think it's what I've already mentioned about the 1960s timeline that's probably going to be the thing that draws you in and really hooks you. Um, this isn't one of those books, though, where the present one is just like kind of fluff and you're thinking, okay, let's get back to the real story. They were both really well done and really important, and the way they weave together at the end was just spot on. So, reading this book, I just couldn't help but be affected by and take in the urgency and the passion that Marshall has as she writes about the injustices that are placed on women's lives. And I think the mark of a really great book for me is how real the situation and the characters felt. There are moments that I wanted to yell at one of the characters. I wanted to shake her. I wanted to tell her to stop doing what she was doing and make another choice. And I also, my heart broke for multiples of the characters. I was brought to tears multiple times. And even thinking about it now and knowing the ending, my chest still gets kind of tight about the intensity that I experienced and I went through as I followed the characters in this story. And so Liberty Street explores social expectations for women. It looks at stigma around mental illness. And most of all, and I think most pressing for our times, it explores the institutional power held over women's lives and women's bodies. And it does it in a way that will really rile you up, but it will also inspire you. Sorry. I love too that this is another one of Marshall's books where she reveals a mostly hidden or unknown aspect of women's histories and really lays it bare. So if you like that, this is the book for you. Liberty Street by Heather Marshall, as I mentioned. I just like blazed through it, and it's quite the chunky book. It didn't feel like it at all. I was reading it on an e-reader. Highly recommend. And if you'd like to know about me, you can head over to my website, charlenecarr.com, where you can learn about my books. Here's two of them here. And also, if you sign up to my newsletter, you can get a free novella.